This podcast contains discussions about sensitive topics, including mental health, alcohol and substance use, as well as suicide. It may also include strong language. The viewpoints expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to a trusted professional or a helpline.
Twist the throttle, let it burn. Every mile's a lesson learned. Lean it hard, don't let it slide. Life's a ride we cannot hide.
Welcome back, Twist the Throttle listeners, watchers, to another episode. Today we're joined by Tina Holland, and Tina is a partner of Raggaz from the Defiant SMC. She's a mum, she's a horse rider and a new motorcycle rider finding her own place on two wheels. Her story covers ADHD, anxiety, body image, relationship breakdown, self-harm, miscarriage, postpartum depression, motherhood, horses, bikes, and the long road back to herself. In this raw conversation about the parts of life people often hide and what happens when someone finally notices you're not okay. To start with, Tina, before we get into the heavier parts of today's story, who are you on a good day? And thanks, Jeff, for the new intro.
It's definitely not a scripted show.
It's unscripted, but yeah. Anyway, it's good. I like it.
On a good day, I am a mum first.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
So you got little Raya, 18 months old.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's mobile now, I'm guessing.
Running around like there's no tomorrow. Actually, just last night, she was literally running up to the shopping and then running it to Daddy to put it all away.
Helping.
It was very, very cute.
Yes, I can imagine that would be. So you're Raggaz partner. We've had Raggaz on the show a couple of times now. A mum, a horse rider, and now a new rider. Which part of those feels like you the most right now?
I feel like being on the bike has really given me an opportunity to get away from any sort of responsibility that I did. It's been fantastic.
So you're good to ride over here today. What's about an hour, hour and a half?
It was about an hour and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
And
Should have been an hour and a half.
you can filter now because you're on your P's, so you're allowed to filter, which is good.
I'm still playing with that idea. It's not something that I'm 100% confident with.
Yeah.
I'll only do it if I feel
Come for a ride
confident.
with me, mate.
Yeah.
The filter king.
Okay, you can.
I feel comfortable when cars are side by side. They can't cut across in front of you. I'm always
Gaps
very...
are traps.
It doesn't really help for people on Spotify, but YouTube watchers, when things are side by side, they can't cut across on you. So I'm quite confident to go between those. You need to be very aware of things that are going to try and come into, and make sure you've got that extra room.
I haven't done it on highways, but I have done it a lot at like sets of lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm starting with the baby stuff first.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No,
You're
not-
the legal stuff. You're doing the legal stuff. That's good.
So I went away the last episode speaking to a lot of the British riders. Their main thing was just take your time. There's no rush. Yeah, they all said there's no rush. Just take your time.
And that's the biggest thing too. Like I was talking to Raggaz about when it would be an appropriate time for me to start like helping out with like buffering and stuff on rides, and said don't worry about it for like another year.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you'll be the blocker.
Corner blocker, yeah.
Corner blocker.
I'll never be like one of the boys, but
Yeah.
I am the first girl.
You are. The very first Defiant Puggle female, first lady, and first
Wait.
lady.
So what would people assume about you before knowing you? True.
Some people have actually said that they think that I'm a bit of a bitch
Okay.
before they actually get to know me.
And confirm it,
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I'm like overly bitchy. I've got a really good resting bitch face.
That was a shit joke.
I can have a very good resting bitch face
Yeah.
if you don't know me. And I can look like I'm really judgmental sometimes, but I'm actually
Processing.
processing.
You got a lot of shit going on upstairs.
100%.
Yeah.
It churns
That's
up
that,
there
that
like
lovely
a-
word that you call ADHD, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what keeps your life busy at the moment?
definitely my daughter.
Yeah.
She's like, keeping up with her is probably like the biggest thing. The nights are hard at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sleep's a memory.
What is sleep? What is this thing you talked about?
This mythical thing that used to exist.
How dare you bring up this thing that I'm not allowed to have?
It's all right. I don't sleep anyway.
I'll trade you.
Mine's my just stupid brain, not screaming child.
Are you someone that looks calm even when everything inside is going sideways?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, calm persona, but everything's fucking... I think that is the ADHD.
100%.
So what's something people often misunderstand about you?
That I'm actually just trying to... I have this big need, and it's not intentional, but I have this massive need to want to help. And it doesn't matter if I... Like, I will come to someone's house and I'll just start cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Help yourself. The vacuum cleaner is in the...
Hang on, we're just going to pause for a minute and go get the
I
mop
did
and
it at your
bucket.
place when I was there last.
You did.
And it's not like an intentional thing. It's
Yeah.
literally just like I just start.
You can just start talking and start doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
so-
it's not even like intentional though. Like I wanted to. I wish it was intentional. And then I get home and I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So you're a new rider, so what has riding taught you so far?
Writing has taught me how to get out and find myself again.
Yeah.
In a way. It's sort of given me a bit more, I suppose I want to call it freedom
Yeah.
in some aspects, because like it's given me that I don't have to worry about anybody else but
Yep.
me on the bike. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that to me has been, like, especially now with Rhea being as young as she is and
Yeah.
always wanting, like, either mum or dad.
Yeah.
It's, you get to a point where you're just like, stop touching me. No
I
one
just
touch
I
me.
need some time out.
Go away.
So what actually made you want to get into riding in the first place? By yourself?
Yeah, it was by myself. It was, I used to see, like, all the boys from Defiant, and I'd see the way that, you know, they'd go out and do all these fun rides and
Yep.
charity.
Raggaz is always out and about, isn't he?
He's a little social fucking butterfly. He will literally, like, and he has done this to me many times. I think it was actually the first time I met you. And he would just, like, he'd stay at one thing, and then I'd come and catch up to him, and then he'd
He
fuck
moved
off
to
and
move to
So
the
I'd
next
like to
one.
go and talk to somebody.
Well, I think that's how we became friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, he's just fucked off on you. I'll keep talking to you. Like,
Yeah, but you were
I
just like,
do that all the time for my part.
but you were
yeah.
also just like, but hang on, wait, who are you?
Yeah, that's just yeah.
So do you remember the first moment when you thought, I actually want to ride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was sitting on the back of his bike.
And your bum was going
my
numb?
mum was- it was sort of just like a case of this is not comfortable.
Yeah.
I like being on the back,
So,
but it's not fucking
so what bike do you ride now?
I have a 650 Vulcan S. It's
Comfy cruiser, enough pep? There's enough pep in that, yeah.
yeah,
It's all right.
keeps up with the boys.
650, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And technically now it's a 660.
Okay.
What'd you do?
I derestricted it.
Hey,
No.
I rode a 650 Vulcan the other day, a particular white one.
Okay.
You can
And
take
it goes
for a spin
pretty
if you
good.
want.
That thing is a weapon, man. Like,
Yeah.
It goes all right. Yeah, it's
Take it
pretty
for a spin
quick.
anytime.
Chuck it on my bike if I ever get it back.
Done.
Somebody's enjoying that right
Yeah.
now.
Crazy.
That's a totally different episode. We'll
We'll
get
get
to the next one after that one.
We'll
Enjoy
get
this
into
one
that.
and then get into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What scared you the first time you rode?
Hang on. Does your bike have a name? I asked
Oh,
the question.
sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Oh,
I
sorry,
asked
yeah.
the question.
My bike's name is Smokey.
Okay. And it matches
It
the
matches the
graphic.
paint job.
The graphic on it, yeah. Is that painted or is it graphic?
Uh,
Got it with the bike?
yeah.
It's not. There's. I think that.
I'll put a picture up right here.
Yeah. There's. I think that like the
Yeah.
2019 to 2021.
It's a factory.
Yeah, they've got it in blue as well. I've seen it around.
Mate of mine just bought a new one and it's carbon edition. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
It's carbon fibre
Yeah.
looking.
Oh, yeah.
Special.
Yeah. That's cool. Because they're a pretty popular bike, aren't they?
Yeah, learner cruisers. Yeah.
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 Well, that's good. You're going to bump up eventually? Sorry.
Yeah,
Going
you're
off
right.
topic.
No, you're right. Go for it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty happy on it right now.
I'm very happy on it right now. It keeps up with the boys, that was the biggest thing that I wanted to be able to do.
Okay.
Obviously,
So
they're all
your boys ride pretty normal then? If you can keep up, they must.
most of the time.
I don't know if many can keep up with Jeff and me legally.
Most of them.
Wombat, if you're listening. Him and Disco had a bit of a good ride together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the 650
Ooh.
V-Star, I
He
think.
is.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, can ride, yeah.
Okay.
What was I going to say?
Oh, the other Wally.
Yeah,
Wombat.
Yep.
Your Wombat.
Our wombat.
Yeah.
We've got two.
We've got one over this side too.
Collecting.
yeah. Wombats, platypuses, and ducks.
Yep.
We just need to drop.
Marsupials. The Australian marsupial collection.
I know. We need to drop Bear.
What does Ragga think of you becoming a rider?
I think initially he was a bit nervous, mainly for all the dickheads out there. But
Yep.
I feel like
There's a few of them, I know. If you're
Oh.
not a rider, you listen to the podcast, keep an eye out for us, yeah? Fucking hell.
100%.
Nearly get wiped out, buddy, riding with Ezzy to the dentist today. Keep an eye out, look in your mirrors.
Yeah, exactly.
Thankfully, I haven't had too many situations where like I've been cut off or
Yeah.
that sort of thing. There haven't been a
give it
whole lot
time.
of that.
Give it time. I'd get nearly knocked off every time I ride. Bastard. So you've now the first female puggle to join Defiant.
You're the
Been
only one
around-
at the moment.
Yeah, you've been
No, we've got three at the moment.
3 girls?
No, 3 puggles.
3 puggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the
So-
first girl, though.
I'm
Yeah.
the first girl.
Yep.
And I'm the fourth.
First
puggle
girl,
to go
first
through.
lady. Yeah. So how's it been around the club? What has it made you think of the bike community?
It's made me feel like the biker community is very misunderstood. A lot of people put this big stigma on like bikies as being like these big blokes that are big and scary and you should fear them. Don't get me wrong, some of them are scary, but
Yeah, there is
also
that element
catered.
for sure, but that's more not the SMC world. That's
no,
more
that's
the
not
other
the
part.
world.
yeah. The
Hey, but in saying that, they're not all.
No,
some of the nicest, most
No, that's right.
loyal people you'll ever meet. To be honest.
I will always bring up my daughter as being if you are ever in trouble, you see a bikie, go up to him or her.
Perfect.
So you're knockabout with the veterans over that way? You can bump into them ever?
Yeah, we do occasionally. We
Yeah.
did the veterans
Anzac
service.
Day, right? Yeah.
That was really well
Good.
together. We really enjoyed catching up with them.
No, it's good.
They're a great organisation.
We've got a great little setup up there too.
Yeah, their clubhouse. We went out.
Friday nights.
It's a really, really gorgeous little spot. And when the sun was coming up over the top of the shed, it was gorgeous.
So, going from being on the back of the bike to now riding by yourself, do you feel like being a rider is something that's starting to belong to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something.
Part of your personality, not just the partner of.
Yeah, it's not something that I get to do all the time. So I don't get to go on every single ride that's out there. I do try and make an effort to go to our club ones and make sure that I am still, putting in my bits as well for the club, even if I can't do blocking and stuff like that. I'll go and help out. So like, as an example, like for the Black Dog ride recently, I got to help out with the financial side of things
Payment
and
sides of things, yeah.
making like helping them make the payments with the
Square.
because they couldn't figure it out.
That can be. Technology sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
But, like, I had
little
it in,
kid
like-
to figure it out for you normally. I just
I
hear,
had it in
here,
2
my
minutes.
phone's broken, fix it.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, well, you guys have more important things to do. I don't have to do that shit.
Yeah.
You are a president. You need to mingle. Go and mingle.
Go shake babies and kiss hands.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So what would you say to another mum or partner that wants to ride but feels intimidated?
I've actually been having this conversation with some of our fellow
Okay.
Defiant women,
Yep.
as I like to call them.
Yeah. Wags.
Yeah. We've been trying to encourage some of the other girls to get their license, and I feel like I'm just about there. Like, they're actually looking to book it in now.
Is there,
Ebony?
Ebony is one of them,
Yeah.
and
She's
the other
always
one,
at the back.
Yeah,
Mm.
she can actually ride too, though.
Yeah.
is there like a pre-learning to ride type
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
There's a
The
pre-learners
1
and
day
a learners.
course,
Yeah.
and then there's a 2 day course.
Yeah.
It's like an introduction to bikes. It's,
Yeah.
it's more about like taking the weight of it, pushing it around, not actually riding. so much.
Clutching.
Yeah,
You
like
learn to feel
where
like
everything
you're
is,
like
and yeah.
Yeah.
And they teach you how to do, like, real.
And I don't think it's overly expensive, is it? And it kind of gives you that first
The
little...
first course is, so for the 2 dayer, that's about $550, I think it was.
Okay, there's a lot of money.
But
given it.
then, like, your check ride's $250 and the license is $250.
Such a convoluted way of getting it these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from the club side of things, we'll go 2-part question. What was it like being the partner of a president starting up a new club as compared to being a member for the first time?
It's a hard one.
Mm.
I suppose, like, starting off as a partner, it was sort of just like you always had this feeling that you had to perform in a way. Like whenever the boys came around, and you always had to entertain and make sure they always had drinks and yada, yada, yada. And I suppose
It's easier just to point at the fridge and say, help yourself.
well, we've actually had that fixed now because one of our boys,
You've got the fridge with the tap, right?
we've got a fridge with a tap.
Yeah.
He made it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going around the Raggaz.
They're not a clubhouse, yeah.
Just not allowed to put a big fucking
Shed.
sign out the front.
Yeah, it's just a shed.
And you're not allowed to lock the gates with a big sign.
But no, Snapper was absolutely gorgeous, and for the club's 1 year, he made a fridge.
That's cool.
And put a tap in it.
And it's a home brew, yeah.
Yeah, so he brings the brew with him every time he comes.
That's sick. That's wicked. I love that.
Yeah.
So, as a member, what's different?
I suppose it's more I get to sit in on all the meetings. So, like, I get to know what's coming up and what the ins and the outs are. Like, you know, we've recently become incorporated, so, like, I've been able to...
Very proud of you guys for that too, by the way.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
You take a lot of pride in the Defiant as well.
100%.
I see the Rusty Boy and
Yeah.
I'm honoured to be a part of it. It means so much to me.
I like that...
Half an hour, mate.
Yeah, I need to keep going.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I like that, you know, even, like, our brother clubs
Yeah.
are so inviting and that they make you feel like you're just part of a big family.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's like
yeah.
your cousins.
Yeah, this the relationship between the Nuts and the Defiant is pretty special. We've got there's only like 3 or 4 clubs that we're super tight with, and yeah, we love riding with Defiant.
I'm looking forward to making a Defiant rug.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually just recently got them a flag, and it's probably
it's huge.
It's bigger than
fucking
this
huge.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. We're gonna get some.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can hook you up.
So-
yeah, you can.
so a
I
lot of
think you
people-
sent me the link already.
Moving on.
Talk
Righto, sorry.
I don't need more shit to buy. No, I
These
do
are like
actually.
really cheap. They're like $15.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, legit.
Well, you can get me one, Jeff. Thanks.
No worries, mate.
For people who know Raggaz,
Yes.
what should they understand about you? Though this worded very fucking.
Yeah, no,
What?
yeah, I skipped that question.
Yeah.
I mean, I can answer it if you
Go on.
So a lot of people know Raggaz.
They know Raggaz. I suppose that a lot of people don't know all the behind the scenes things that he does,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to try and
I
help.
think he bounces off you quite a bit, doesn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, I've given him everything that we've used and all else
Yeah.
that we've learned and tried to help them get on the right foot off the bat rather than make some of the mistakes we made.
Yeah, that's right. We did make a few teething issues.
Yeah.
And to avoid all those
Yeah.
as a step in the right direction.
And that's one of the things is like them being incorporated was
Yeah.
off following our example,
Yeah.
which is fantastic because more clubs need to do it to keep that transparency when it comes to charities and stuff.
100%. A lot of the boys have been like, especially when I was first starting out with the group rides and stuff like that, they'd go and just block for me.
Yeah,
And like if there was a dickhead trying to push in, they would block and get in the way and protect me.
yeah,
And it made me feel very safe. They made that first couple of big group rides really safe for me.
yeah,
And it was almost like I was cocooned.
yeah, absolutely.
It was snuggly.
Yeah,
It is a big part of safety. I know drivers kind of get a little bit upset, but it really is. It's about safety.
100%. And now that I've been doing like a fair bit on my own as well, because I probably ride more on my own now than what I do
Yeah.
in group. But it's highlighted the fact that there are so many dickheads out there that don't understand bikes.
yeah,
And that I feel like they almost need to go and get put on a bike so they can actually understand like the dynamic of you have no safety bracket.
I don't know if we talked about it before, but everybody should spend time in a truck,
Yeah.
in a car,
And
on a bike,
yeah,
and get a perspective from all
100%.
aspects of it. And
I feel like when they're doing the learner course, they should let you have a go on something that they don't care if it gets scratched
Yeah.
or dented or...
yeah. So horse has been a massive part of your life. When did you start? Sorry, we move pretty quickly.
I started riding when I was 2.
2.
My mum, I've got a vivid memory of like my mum picking my brother up from daycare, and I was riding mum's horse and she borrowed a friend's horse and she was leading him I think his name was Bluey, and
Mm-hmm.
Mum's horses was named Jinta. She was like a white Arab, which is very cute. Apparently, she was sassy as anything. To like slide into the fences and stop. Close. Scare the shit out of Mum.
Yep. So what do horses give you mentally?
They give me a mental offload.
Yep.
So like when I'm with my horse, or I've got one horse at the moment, when I'm with my horse, I don't think
I'll
about
put a
anything
picture
else.
here because I hear he's a pretty big freaking beast of a horse.
Yeah, he's a Frisian blood.
And what type of things do you do with him?
I do. You're gonna love this.
Mm-hmm.
I do mounted archery.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Such a badass.
You do jousting as well? Have you ever tried
So-
doing that?
I probably could do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the armor. The armor itself is about 30.
Okay, that's
30K.
30K.
Holy shit.
Because it's all gonna be like custom.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I think if you like got like training sets, that,
Yeah.
like you could potentially buy, your first baby set for like maybe 10.
Jesus Christ.
But that's secondhand as well.
Yeah.
It's not fitted to you or anything like that.
and you
Guess
It's
it's
a
got to be
expensive
fucking.
hobby.
Yeah, it's got to be You're gonna get stabbed with a stick.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got friends of mine who have, they're broken. One's got a broken back at the moment because he nearly got unhorsed and he actually fractured. I want to say L4, L5.
Right down the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought I got broken. Yeah. I know where it is.
Yeah.
You can visualise it. I see him wincing.
Yeah,
thinking about it.
that's why I'm sort of half laying
So-
down. Like, I kind of look like I'm laying on this chair.
So you do archery from a horseback. That's pretty amazing. You're
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm self-taught.
Okay. Do anything else with your horse?
I do eventing, I do dressage, I do
Shit.
show jumping, I do showing.
So you get around Victoria quite a bit doing that type of thing still?
Not as much these days,
Yeah.
but I used to. Yeah. I
Mm.
used to do a fair bit of travel. I think the furthest I've gone is Albury.
So is riding a horse where your head gets quiet?
Yes.
Yeah. Same
'Cause
thing on a bike?
No. Not
No.
always.
No.
Riding a bike is it's a yes and a no. Sometimes you have to be more switched on with a bike.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got this little voice in your head because you've got the music happening.
I've always got a voice in my head. It's great.
But
We
when
can
I'm on
get
my
along
horse, I have to be 100%.
I heard the other day that a voice inside a female's head's a male's voice as well.
Correct.
No.
If someone's hearing voices, it's always a male voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia type thing.
Yeah.
It's a boy.
Mine's not.
Yours is not.
Yeah, it's not schizophrenia then, so you're right.
That's your own
I
thought.
keep thinking that mine's my twin.
Yeah. Did you eat her?
No, I kicked her out.
Boo.
10 weeks.
Jesus.
I was cruel.
So during the darkest parts of your life, did horses give you a reason to keep moving?
They were the only thing keeping me going at that point.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years ago now. It was a point where I was going through a bit of a relationship breakdown and we just weren't talking to each other.
Yeah.
Big communication thing.
Yeah.
Make sure you do it, everybody.
Yes.
It's a big
Big part of relationships, isn't
Yeah.
it? Being able to talk to one another.
100%. Don't just shut it all in.
Yeah.
It's not good for you.
So
Anyways.
you were having problems processing your.
I was having body issues personally, and my ADD decided to let's just put all the energy into horse riding because
Yeah.
that's
Hyper focus away
Hyper-focusing on-
away from it. Yeah.
this is the thing that gets me out of my head and I don't have to think about anything else but that. So I was like competing every weekend. I was
For you, it's rewarding as well.
not always,
No, not always,
especially
but
not recently.
So, from a conversation we had about your horse, you said that the competition can be quite open to the judges. And if you've got like a judge is upset about something that happened, nothing to do with what your competition is, it can be quite a bitchy little
100%.
type of scene. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had this recently where I had a judge actually report me to the association that I'm with and say that I was abusing my horse when I was definitely...
Yeah.
I had a vet on site. He was watching the whole time. He's actually my personal friend and he's been my vet for the last 10 years. And he was just like, you have never abused a horse. I was playing with his mouth. He's fine.
Yeah, so that was where they were saying you were pulling too hard on the
Yeah,
bit.
she actually said that I was yanking on his mouth and I was forcing him to curl under when that's actually an anxiety trait for him.
Yeah, right.
So he likes to bite his chest when he's anxious. And it's not all horses do that, but he does.
Yeah.
It's a Frisian thing.
So
Trying to imagine that.
So the
I've got photos
dressage
later.
horses having their head
Yeah, I've seen the horses doing
vertical,
that.
like having their head perfectly vertical
Yeah.
is like
Ideally, you want their head like this.
Yeah.
What he would do is he'd go
go,
like this.
yeah, he'd go back under.
So if you can imagine the nose being here and the ears up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen it. They
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
called curling.
very prancy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this dressage is insane. I was going to say the connection that you must have, and the intuition and that bond. Yeah, that bond with the horse must be insane.
I trust him enough to have my daughter on him.
Yeah.
Like that speaks volume.
Yeah.
Like she was on him from the time that she was.
Could hold on.
No, even,
She's
not
on-
even.
she's
She's been
big-
on him
yeah.
since I think the first time she sat on him.
Was there car seats for horses?
No, there's not.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to say, fucking hell, how's a kid meant to hold onto a horse? I get it now. All right.
I
Gone.
think the first time she sat on him was actually when she was about a month old.
That's insane.
I think I've got a photo.
Yeah, that's
of it.
great.
Put it in
Oh.
here. Getting good at this.
You got to
photo.
get into the. You got to get these photos out to us.
Oh, you're gonna have to remind me which ones.
So what's harder to control, a horse or a motorbike?
Horse, 100%.
Yeah, they're free will.
My horse is incredibly stubborn.
Yeah.
I actually have the first competition on video that I did with him where I did cross country. And I am not exaggerating at this at all. I had a whip, I had spurs, and I was sitting there pony club kicking him. And he was just like, there is water there. There is a shark in there.
Yeah.
He's going to eat me.
Yeah.
I am not going in that
way
water,
I'm
whatever
going
you
in that
do.
water.
It got to the point where he actually gassed me out.
Oh
Which is-
wow.
That's an impressive thing to do.
Yeah.
But I can show you that video later. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Interesting. Yeah, I know horses can be stubborn. I remember working up in far north Queensland, mustering cattle, and I was on the boss's horse. And he wasn't listening to what I was doing, galloping, chasing. He knew what to do because he'd obviously been a musterer's horse before. But I didn't like that. So I hopped off and punched him in the nose, jumped back on him, and he did everything I wanted him to do.
Established dominance.
My horse
Exactly.
goes as far as he'll walk up to the jump, look at it, and then he'll just step over it. I've got so
I
much
do like
confidence in
horses.
that.
I'm not jumping today.
I hear they're pretty expensive to look after, though.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Depends.
If you've got land to look after them on, it's probably not so bad.
I've got a pretty good deal going at the moment
Yeah.
where I don't have to be out there every day.
Yep.
So that works out very well
Yep.
for me.
That's good.
We've got like
Somebody
a
else,
little roster.
somebody else helps.
Yeah, we've got
You
a little
help as
roster.
well.
I've got days that I've got to go out and feed.
Yeah.
Technically today was my day, so I actually was out there at 5 o'clock this morning.
Yay.
Thanks, guys.
So do you get the same freedom riding a horse as you do on a bike, or would you say bike's a bit
It's
more of the
different.
freedom side?
It's a bit different. So when I'm on a bike, it's more about I don't have to be responsible for anybody else but me. And that aspect is a lot different to previously. Yeah.
Having
It can get a lot
child that's
sometimes.
like a koala that wants to hang on you every second of the day.
God. My back is just screaming. She destroyed it on the way out.
They do that.
Came out sideways and like during
Apparently,
labor.
I come out like Superman. One Dad likes telling
She
everybody.
came out like her feet were up here and she was still kicking me while she
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, you're
fucking
an
nice.
asshole.
You'll remember that.
trying to
forever.
run up.
Yeah. A push off.
Do you think you need movement to process emotions?
That's an interesting question. Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It depends on the situation. And it also depends on what you're dealing with at the time. If it's something that it's very emotionally and deep in your core, that might need to be walked out or
Yeah.
have some sort of motion to be able to actually get going.
I find I can't ride angry, but I can ride, like if I'm upset about something or I've got a million things going on, jumping on a bike, you have to concentrate. So it takes all that, takes the noise away.
I haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out what it is for me, but
Right,
I just fucking love it.
Yeah.
I'm in a happy place.
Yeah, well,
I'm happy.
That's probably part of it as well.
Woo,
Yeah,
it's
like-
fun. Woo.
Yeah. keep the front wheel on the ground.
Yeah, woo.
I'm still finding that it's a bit weird every time that I leave the house without the child.
Yeah.
You're missing something.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, it took me a
Where
while to
is-
get off smokes as well because I always felt like I was missing something. Got my wallet, got my keys, fucking, yeah.
You feel like you're leaving something behind.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
where is it?
kids and cigarettes.
The
two
penny's
different
going to
things.
drop soon. Where is it?
I guess they'll both kill you eventually. So you were diagnosed with inattentive ADHD as a kid.
Correct.
What did that actually look like?
So the only reason I actually got diagnosed was because my brother got diagnosed.
Okay.
I was 6 at the time. They were still sort of finding that there was a lot of cases of girls having ADHD, and they were just sort of like finding out the process on how they diagnose it all.
Okay.
So the understanding that I got when I was 6 was that there are 3 different types of ADHD. There's the hyperactive, there's inattentive, and then there's a combination.
Yep.
My family got all 3.
Excellent.
Yeah. My brother was hyperactive. I was the inattentive, and my dad was the combination.
Nice.
My dad and my brother both have autism as well. They're both very high functioning autistic, but they've got that.
I think we're all on the spectrum.
Yes and no.
Yeah, it's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play joy. No,
I had my doctor ask me, do you want to take an autism test? And I'm like, there's some things we know that we don't need confirmed.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do to help it, so let's just leave that one alone.
So a lot of people,
Have that one under the box.
Yeah.
a lot of people think that ADHD means hyperactivity. What was your version of it?
So inattentive
What is it?
Inattentive.
is, it's sort of like a bit more, it's harder to diagnose, but it's more common in females.
Okay.
Lack of focus.
It's a lack
Yeah.
of focus. It's a lack of confidence as well. When I was 6, I still remembered this. I don't know what it was, but the teacher was yelling at the class for something. I think it might have been that we weren't lined up at a certain time or something like that, small stuff. But it was like this small little thing, and I took it so personally. I ran under her desk, and I didn't come out for like 2 hours until my
okay.
mum came and got me out.
Yeah.
I was so petrified of her.
So you were terrified of conflict from a young age?
100%.
Yeah.
It's taken a lot to...
How did that show up later?
I figured out how to manage it myself. Now, if
What's your coping mechanism?
I avoid it, if I understand,
That's not a coping
if it's
mechanism.
something that I can't avoid, you will see me sitting in the corner shaking and physically, like I'll be like a jittering mess. Or like I'll start like going into the fetal position, but it doesn't happen very often, thankfully. It hasn't happened for a while now, but
Did you feel different growing up?
yes.
Yeah.
I remember walking around in grade 3 with my teacher, Mr. Lee, and I had no friends. I would just walk around with him, and the main reason why I probably remember it is because my teacher was keeping a journal when they were helping with the diagnosis and stuff like that, and with my medications, because we had issues with my medications and my brother's initially, because we found that both my brother and I were showing a lot of depression signs and were very shut down. We were zombies. Like I actually remember a conversation between my uncle and myself, and we were like, he actually thought that Mum was just drugging us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like, and he was an Ambo.
So,
Different type of ambo. So what actually, looking back now, what do you think that little Tina actually needed?
I just needed support,
Yeah.
and I needed a community I needed the people around me to help bring out the good parts. Because, like, I feel like once I started horse riding, which was like, that was 2 years after I got diagnosed, that was when I find with most ADHD people, you need to find what they're passionate about, get them into that, and then let them grow on that. And then you can slowly drag that out into the rest of their life.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I fully agree. There's
a theory that, you shouldn't, schools is like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So if you've got a kid that doesn't like math and is really good at English, don't try and force them to learn math. Like, push them fully into the English and see where they can take it.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to, once they've got a bit more confidence, you can sort of.
I remember
introduce shit to them.
Isn't that like the Steiner schools? They do that now?
Yeah, basically. So you don't have to do stuff that's not your passion.
Yeah.
But it means you're going to get people who do love math. They're going to be great mathematicians because they're going to focus more on that.
Sheldons of the world.
Yeah, exactly right.
I remember at the very beginning of the year, I said, he needs to love coming to school. You need to nurture whatever he's passionate about. He doesn't have to be a rocket scientist. Kids don't all need to be rocket scientists.
No.
But if he doesn't love school, he's not going to want to fucking come.
Yeah.
100%.
So you're right. You need to find that passion and then and
that's in everything.
push it.
Yeah.
Let somebody grow on it.
So what medication were they trying out on you at that young age?
We first started out on Ritalin.
Yeah.
That was the one that made us both get very zombie based.
Mm.
Like I just remember Mum referring to us as zombies back then.
Yeah.
And then we switched. I think we were on that for about a year because I really wanted to sort of like get us settled into it.
Yeah.
And it was great for the schoolwork.
Yeah.
We really focused on that, but it was sort of just like it was so tunnel vision.
It
made
killed
us,
everything else.
It killed the social aspect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then, once we were off that, we then got put onto dexamphetamine, and I think I was on that until I was about 16 was when I started weaning myself off.
And nothing now?
No, I haven't been medicated since I was 16.
Wow.
So how does ADHD still show up in your life now as an adult and a mother?
Well, shows up all the time.
Mm.
Unwanted. Go away. It sort of shows up. I know a lot more of my personal cues now, so I can sort of pick when I'm not okay, and I can be like, okay, generally, as long as you've got routine, you're pretty
Yep.
safe.
Yeah, so you know when it's coming.
Yeah. I know that my ADHD traits like pop up when I don't want to organize something.
Okay.
If there's something that I don't want to do,
Task paralysis.
that can wait till later. I don't want to pay that fine today.
Yeah. Task paralysis, it's called.
Stop looking at me like that.
If there's something you have to do,
Yeah.
it's almost like physically painful to force yourself to do it. And then you'll eventually you just fucking do it because it has to be done. And it'll take 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but you put it off for like 3 weeks. Like,
Me filling in the Centrelink forms. Or
laundry
that
at my
one.
house. Like, hate laundry. I cannot fucking bring myself to do laundry, but then I'll crack the shits and do like 20 loads in a day and get it all done. I can do it. It's not a problem of like,
Just got to start.
it's just, I can't make myself start. If there's just
Yeah.
one load, I just don't want to do it. Like, and it's pushing through that
Yeah.
initial feeling of, gotta
Like
get
the
it
biggest thing I'm struggling with at the moment is I really don't want to change my light on my car.
done. It can be just the dumbest thing that's going to take
Yeah.
5 seconds, but you
It
just,
will. I've got the light sitting in the car. I've gone to try and do it about 5 times.
Mhm.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, that can wait. I don't do that.
So your family had foster kids around when you were growing up.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So we had foster kids from, I think I was about 7 until I was about 16.
Wow.
We had a couple of really regular kids that used to come and like, mainly just on the weekends. Like we used to like rotate with someone who actually used to look after me when I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
She had these kids like full time, and then we'd be their respite,
Yeah.
which it worked really well because we were really close in age. And I think the oldest I think he was the same age as my brother.
Mm.
And then the 2 younger ones were, I think, a year or 2 younger than me.
Yeah.
So it worked quite well. Like the age, like we were all really, really playful, and we'd sit there and play video games
Yeah.
or
So
ride our bikes around.
for your parents to get into doing foster caring, was it a compassionate thing, or was it something that you got because of money, or?
I feel like it was because Mum had a big drive to be a mum, and my mum had a lot of issues with keeping pregnancies
Okay.
because she had when my nana was pregnant with my mum, there was like this drug that they used to take to help with the morning sickness,
Okay.
but it caused deformities.
Okay.
So my mum would only ever carry to full term if it was like, if she can see, like, if the implantation happened in a certain spot in her uterus.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Because she had like a little Mickey Mouse ear, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And if she didn't conceive in that, she'd miscarry.
Yeah. I was having this conversation with a mate last night, actually. The miracle of getting pregnant and carrying a child to full term is so many fucking chemical things have to be exactly perfect. And it's quite crazy how modern medicine has made it so much more possible. But crazy what's involved in it, especially going back 30 years.
But no, Mum had about 4 miscarriages.
Yeah.
One of them being my twin. But she just had a big drive to have a big family.
Yeah.
So we said earlier you were a twin, and at 10 weeks she lost.
Yeah, so
one of,
she was in that.
Yeah, that's
So
She's
I
got-
was the same. So
Oh, really?
I was a twin as well.
holy shit.
And then my
yeah.
mum miscarried my twin.
Mm. So somewhere out there's an evil Ambo running.
I'm the evil.
I was going to say, or is there a good one?
As he laughs at shit on TV and he goes, Dad, am I going to hell? And I go, yeah, man, we both are. Don't worry.
It's all right, we know the
The
best.
evil part.
It's all right, mate. We're both going.
So some of those kids you're talking about, some of these foster kids were loving, some were violent, some were stealing from you.
Yeah, because
How
they
was
didn't
that?
know any different.
Yeah.
There was one kid that we got, and he probably would have been between the ages of 3 and 5.
Mm.
And like his parents were junkies. They,
Yeah.
he was high as a kite himself because he just had it secondhand.
Yeah.
And it was a case of like he didn't know any better. But it was interesting seeing the way that my mum would help discipline him, but in a constructive way.
Yeah.
And that I feel has actually helped me in the way that I parent Raya now, just from watching her do that. And
Yeah.
it's just sort of like you see these kids and they've had basically everything taken away from them. They've had their whole lives rattled upside down. They've been abused. Us giving them a safe place to stay was like, it
It's
was
amazing.
a massive thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And like, I hope one day I could potentially do that myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Is that a discussion you've had with Dylan?
No,
No.
not
There
yet.
you go, mate. A little something to look forward to.
So did it make you more alert to conflict?
It didn't make me more alert to conflict. It probably made me more empathetic, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely made me.
So obviously your parents were quite a positive influence on you growing up.
Yeah, my dad was very much I go to work and I
Make the money?
make the money.
I provide.
That's the best way that I
Yeah.
can support the family.
Yep.
He also had a big passion for like buses, and he is the epitome of a bus nut.
Okay.
That's his literal email. Bus nut.
Excellent.
So if you ever need to hook up, let me know.
I actually wouldn't mind doing a bus, but not right now. Building a bus as accommodation.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, add it, yeah.
Yeah. So did you learn to read people's moods fairly early on from growing up around different types of personalities? and
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
I feel like I'm very quick to read a mood and I can almost absorb it if needed. Like, there's been a couple of times I've been to a funeral. I don't even know the person and I'm sitting there bawling.
Oh my. Yeah.
And it's just the emotion in the room.
Mhm.
And that has then caused me to then be like, oh my God.
Do you think that changed how you deal with conflict in your relationships later in life?
I don't know. I really
Really?
actually don't know.
No.
It might have.
Shit question. That's all.
It's a valid question.
So were you a kid who spoke up, or
No.
were you quite content just to not cause problems and be quiet?
You're going to laugh at this. So when I was in primary school, I used to be that kid that used to go up to my big brother and be like, that boy's bullying me, and he'd go beat them up and he'd get into trouble. He'd get like suspensions and detentions and all that sort of shit. because
Was
of
the
me.
kid actually bullying you, or were you just a shithead?
No, he wasn't. He was legitimately bullying me.
Well, your brother was a good guy then.
He was my hero.
I remember this one time I was walking home from Pukitapi Primary School, and I was going past this house, and I was walking on the main road, and I was pulling. I've seen them over here. You're pulling the heads off this fucking plant and pulling the little bulbs off. It's like an explosion. There's little seed pods, and I was pulling them all off this flower. And this lady pulled up with fucking purple hair and was screaming and yelling at me. like, fucking, what are you doing? That's my fucking garden. And I remember my sister coming up and fucking grabbing me and going off at this lady, and then was trying to make us fucking, because this lady was trying to find out where I lived. Yeah. And my sister just grabbed me and dragged me away. And like, pulled me the opposite direction to where we were going. This crazy fucking nurse lady with purple hair, I'll never forget it. Scary ass. Anyway.
You always know the crazies because I've got different coloured hair.
All right, so we touched on this a little bit earlier. So in 2023, before everything fell apart, where were you mentally?
I want to say, I wasn't really too in tune with what was actually going on around me. I was hyper fixated on
The horse.
because that was my outlet, and I was living at Raggaz, dad's place. Occasionally we'd have like little conflicts with them. Not bad conflicts. It was just more like, I felt very secluded,
Yeah.
and like the room was the only place that I could be me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a space that was mine.
It is hard being adults living with other adults.
And especially when you're going into someone else's house.
Yeah.
It was fine
The
when...
power dynamics is
Yeah.
real.
But it was like, it was weird in the aspect of I only wanted to, like, I'd get home and I'd literally go straight to my room.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was my safe space. That was where I could decompress.
Yeah.
And that was the space that I felt that I was the most comfortable with me. And it was not an easy time. Like, at the time, I was probably as heavy as I probably could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I was struggling with my own body dysmorphia. I didn't realise how bad it was until further along.
Yeah.
So it's hard to talk about, isn't it?
It can be.
Yeah. So
Now I'm...
no, you're not. But so people who were struggling, you got pretty big. You lost your libido as well. Like,
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I lost all forms of anything to do with anybody else but me.
Yeah.
I felt like looking back on it now, I can see how much I was actually neglecting my relationship because I wasn't talking.
Yeah.
And I made him feel like he wasn't the most important person in my world, which I hate that.
Yeah.
He thought that I was actually on the verge of breaking up with him because I was so
Closed off.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it wasn't a case of that at all. It was
So it's a part of that, like not having your own space and like kind of feeling not in control of your diet, not in control of like not having, if you're going straight to your room, you're not really exercising, you're not doing anything like that.
I was still exercising.
Okay.
Because I was
You were worried about what people were thinking about you?
I felt like I was constantly getting drilled for information.
Mm.
Because my partner's dad had his dad's partner had a really good habit of, have some wine. And then you'd get like 2 bottles in, and then it was just like, I'd get verbal diarrhea. But it was sort of like a case of, I just didn't, it wasn't like anybody's fault what happened. It was just like it was more of a combination of my brain was just, I started noticing things within myself. I thought I could deal with it. I probably couldn't have. And it didn't help.
So did you actually know that you were depressed at that time, or did that realization come later?
Like, it didn't actually click in my brain that I had body dysmorphia until later on. I was sort of just like in my own little depresso
Bubble.
It was just like, this is my bubble. I do not exit my bubble.
So what does body image struggle do to a relationship?
It's so toxic for it.
Yeah.
Because like Dill thought I didn't love him anymore at all. He thought that I literally wanted to break up with him, and it was just like, that's not the case at all. Like, I was in such a routine
Torment.
of my day,
Yeah.
and it was just like I'd leave work, I'd then go from work to feed the horse, I'd then come straight home, have dinner, go to bed, and it was just, that was every day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a case of like, it got to the point where my body was just like, no, I'm sore, I'm tired, I feel disgusting, go away.
So you weren't talking to anybody, like hiding pretty much the bad things from everybody at that point?
I think it was about 2 weeks before I'd actually started talking to a girlfriend, and I was just like, I am not happy with where I am at. I want to do something to change that. Can you help me in the gym? Because I've seen, like, she used to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
and she used to compete it. I know she knew how to get the weight
Tone the
down.
body, yeah.
And she was a similar sort of body shape to me, but she had a way of losing the weight in a healthy way without, because I used to do weightlifting when I was in school. So like I know how to lift, I know how to do all of that sort of thing. My biggest issue at the moment is the fact that I've got bad joints.
And when people saw you out competing, would they have any idea of what was going on underneath?
100% no.
No. Yeah. Looking back with horses helping you hide. Yeah.
It was a big mask. I find that ADHD people are very good at masking how they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much a trait. And I started doing it when I was about 16.
Yeah.
I put on this big happy face and
Yeah.
then I just continue and do everything that I don't want to do.
So when did you first feel something was wrong in the relationship?
When I started noticing behaviours that weren't regular. You know when someone's nervous because something has just happened or something like that, and their behaviour is just like really shifty? He started being a bit that way, and I sort of noticed that
So your gut told you something wasn't right.
something's not right, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. He made friends with this chick that initially I was all for. I was just like, yeah, go have fun. Like, you know, it was more, the way he approached it to me was more that it was a group situation that he was going into, not
Yeah,
a one-on-one.
one-on-one. Yeah.
Which I think it did initially start group, and it then
Sort of, but
they became a lot closer and he started getting feelings and shit happened. But, you know, I don't hold that over him now.
so was it felt like betrayal at the time. Did that hurt more, or was it it just felt like it was confirming what you already feared about yourself?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I was living in a state of anxiety at the time.
Just constant.
I was not functioning at work. I was not functioning at home. I think at one point I spent 5 days where I didn't eat. I think I dropped about 10 kilos.
Yeah, so physically,
I was completely shutting down,
yeah.
which is not easy. I ended up talking to my GP and just getting on some sort of mental health. Like I fully disclosed to him everything that had been happening, and he was just like, oh my God, please take these.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sure. I found a really good concoction. Have 2 pills and
Make you happy?
no, it didn't make me happy. It made me go to sleep.
Numb.
Oh, okay, yeah, righto. Yeah.
It was, anti-anxiety meds.
So when all this happened, you still managed to compete that weekend. How did you manage that?
I don't know.
Yeah, just that focus again. Just
So my horse's siblings are in the valley as well, and I compete with them quite regularly. And one of the girls, her name's Kirsty, she is like, she's such a mother bear without being a mother bear. And like she doesn't have any kids. She's only got ponies. And she was just like, it was absolutely gorgeous. We did the cross country together. She was the rider after me. My horse was having some issues and doing his normal thing where he would just step over jumps. She overtook me, and then he used the
Follow, and then he was doing what he
and then
needed
he
to
just,
do.
and we were just going, and like when you watch the video of us going around, he was like, you can just hear the support, and it was just like, let's go, let's finish. And we were both just pumping each other up, and like we actually got told off because we were too close at one point.
So going through that time, did you blame yourself at the time, or
100%.
Yeah,
100% I blame myself. I blame myself because I wasn't giving him the attention that he needed. And I felt that was my downfall.
Yeah.
And I then became obsessive about it to the point of I was giving myself to him in whatever way I could, even if I didn't want it.
Yeah. Were you afraid of what would happen if you stopped?
Yeah. I was petrified.
Yeah.
It was like I felt like I was...
You had to earn being chosen again?
Yeah. I had to fight for what was mine.
Yeah. Did sex become like reassurance for...
No, it became a hold.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like a claw that I was holding on to.
Yeah. How easy is it to lose yourself when you're terrified someone is leaving?
Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I was manic in so many ways. Like, I think I had so many days off around that period. There was like a 3-month period where all of this was happening. My mum didn't even know anything until shit happened further down the track. But there was literally me, his sister, this chick, and that was it. No one else knew what was going on.
So what would you say now to someone trying to save a relationship and destroying themselves?
Don't be afraid to talk to people, even if it's like someone who you're not close with. I had a friend of mine. This was someone that I was helping retrain his horse. He was trying to get it ready to get sold, or even he wanted to learn how to ride as well. So it was like a combination of he wanted to sell the horse, but at the same time he wanted to learn how to ride. So I was trying to get the horse up to scratch because he'd been stuck in a paddock for years.
Yeah.
And he was the first person that actually switched on, and he's sort of like around your sort of age.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit younger than you.
Most people are.
Yeah. But he's a dad of 3.
Yeah.
He's a single guy. And he was just like, he picked up on my mannerisms and the way that I was talking and my physical appearance as well. Like, he noticed that I was dropping weight. He noticed that I was shaking all the time. And he's like, what's going on?
This is Joe.
Yeah, this is Joe. So my rock Joe. I haven't actually seen him for ages. I need to. But this man had so much going on in his life, but he still had the time to stop and be like, hey, tell me what's going on. Because something's going on and you're like, things have changed.
So Joe seems to be a massive turning point in your story. Who was Joe to you?
He was a friend. I love the waterworks. Joe was like my saviour. I want to call him that.
Yeah. So was it, what did he actually say to you, or is it just the fact that somebody asked?
It was the fact that someone noticed.
What did it feel like to finally be seen?
Relief. He was a very big part of the reason why I'm still here.
Had he been through something similar?
He'd been through divorce.
Yeah.
He didn't really dive too much into what he was going happened to him. It was sort of more of a case of he was a dad. He listened, he stopped.
Yeah.
He was just like, tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so important.
Judging.
And it's even just that first step of being like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I've noticed these things. Tell me what's going on. Like, I want to be here to support you. And he would sit there with me for, at times, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just listening to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a case of he was giving me advice. He would just sit there and listen and just be that person that I could verbal diarrhea to.
Yeah.
And sort of let in without having any complications to what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, he was just there for me.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So you'd obviously gone through that. You had massive anxiety, which turned into self-harm.
Yeah.
Did you feel conscious or more like your body acted before your brain caught up?
Yes. There was a period where I can remember sitting on the couch. I was waiting for Dill to get home, and I hadn't even realised that I'd picked up a knife and I'd been sitting there and I was slicing my hand up. I'd sliced all here, all up my forearm, and I was just doing it without even thinking about it. Like, some of them were deep.
So when you realised what had actually happened, it scared you the most.
I literally tried it. It was more the fact that I
Didn't remember you did it. Yeah.
I was that manic that my brain was just switched off.
So what do people misunderstand about self-harm?
It's not something intentional. Not always. It can be something that you do without thinking about, and that sometimes it does give you a slight release because it's taking your mind off something.
Yeah. Focused pain.
It's like, this I can control.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember driving once and I just remember saying to myself, like, I'd heard that he was with her and I literally was driving and I was literally just, I'm not worthy.
Yeah. So it got to the point of like wanting to end your life at that point.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about people who stepped in at that point? So mum was a big part of it as well.
Yeah, it's a bit foggy those days.
Understandably.
I remember I took my anxiety meds and I went out to the kitchen and I was methodical with it. And I was literally like picking one up and then taking it in front of him. And
Yeah.
eventually he clicked on what I was doing and
Yeah.
he took it away from me and called my mum.
Yeah.
And then I think I spent about 3 weeks at home. My GP got me linked in with a psychologist,
Yeah.
which is probably the best thing that I could have done.
Yeah. So what did that professional help give you at that point?
He gave me someone to vent to, more than Joe, that actually could give me the constructive feedback on how I can improve and
Not only event, but also solution.
how to fix the issues that are going on in my head
Mm.
without making it hard. And I don't know, like I feel like my brain is very much, I can compartmentalize what's going on. So like I can sit there and I can be like, okay, we're switching emotions off now. We're done.
Yeah.
And then I can just see like how this person is feeling from the situation that's happening.
Yeah.
So what helped you survive that period?
My mum
Yeah.
Yeah.
and my dog.
Yeah.
Stitch has a big part to play with why I'm still here too.
So you moved out at that point?
Yes, we thought that it was a better idea for me to move to my mum's, where mum could keep a closer eye on me because he didn't know what to do anymore.
Yeah. And there was a major car accident, so you've lost your home environment, lost your car.
The day that I was going to go pick
Yeah.
all my stuff up,
Yeah.
I had a car accident.
How do you even process all that at once?
I had a big meltdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lost my ute. I lost everything that day. I nearly lost my dog.
Wow.
If I hadn't have reached my arm across,
You would have, yeah.
he would have gone through the windshield.
Living at mum's, you said at that point?
My mum's. I was at mum's for 3 weeks, and then
Out on your own?
just in conversation with a girlfriend, her sister-in-law had a room free. I was just like, I'll take it. It was in Yarra. It was literally 8 minutes from the horse.
Yeah.
So I was like, perfect. Love that.
Alone for the first time.
Yeah. 12 years? Yeah, it was probably close to 12 years. First time alone, and that was pretty confronting.
Yeah. Was that terrifying or peaceful or
Terrifying.
terrifying?
I
Yeah.
can actually remember driving home one day. I called a friend of mine and I actually said to her, I need to be around someone because I don't trust myself right now.
Yeah.
And she turned around to me and said, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with you right now.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody who's supposed to be my best mate.
Yeah.
That hit really hard.
Yeah.
So what helped you get through those nights?
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe actually came around
Yeah.
and he would just sit with me and have a couple with me and get me talking
Yeah,
about
that's
something
good.
else.
Yeah. So,
Diversion.
what did you learn about safe people during that period?
They're not the people that you expect. I feel like she could tell something was going on, but she didn't know
How
how
to
in
approach
depth. No, she didn't know the depths of it.
Okay.
And it was more of a case of, she invited me around to her birthday, and that was when I had verbal diarrhea with her.
Yeah.
And just filled her in on all the blanks, and she's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for anyone who thinks their friends might be going through something like that? How would you handle that situation now if you were the other side of that?
I would listen. I
Yeah.
would just, and I have been that before too.
Yeah.
Like, I would just sit down and I'd just be like, you can tell me anything and there'll be no judgment here.
Yeah.
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about this getting to someone else. This is,
Just, yeah, it's a vent point. Yeah.
you can tell me whatever you want
Yeah.
and I'll do whatever I can to help you.
Perfect.
So Denny and trying to move on.
Well, that was a hard few.
So the Denny Ute Muster trip sounds emotionally brutal. Why did you still go?
I think it was pure stubbornness.
Because fuck you, that's why.
I'd spent $700 on tickets and I was just like, I don't want to let
Yeah.
them go to waste. So I ended up taking my uncle with me. And he's a lovely guy. He's like a father figure to me, really. Because, he's 12 years older than me. And we get along like a house on fire. He's just like my mum in so many aspects. but he also understands how to talk to me
Yeah.
and get me to calm down,
Yeah.
and knows how to manage the ADHDness if need be,
Mm-hmm.
because he grew up with it.
So that stubbornness, was that you just trying to prove you could get through it, or you could handle it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very drunk that week.
Meeting new people help you feel like you're still existing outside of that
Yeah,
relationship.
it was sort of like a case of like, I did meet a guy when I was there, and I did my best to try and move on, because like he'd gone with the chick, and I was just like, okay, that ship's probably sailed. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna try and make the best of this weekend, try and make this like turn over a new leaf, all that sort of shit. And yeah, I met a guy when I was there. His name was Ryan. Lovely bloke. Yeah, he was there late. He was Irish. He was hilarious. He just kept trying to distract me every time that he was around. So I was just
So-
like,
The ex seeing you in that situation, did that?
it made
Jane.
him a bit manic.
Yeah. Shoe on the other foot.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. He was just like, I feel like that was when he realized that he was not.
Yeah.
not
So
good
was
enough.
that a turning point or a breaking point?
I feel like it was a turning point in some aspects, because he wasn't ready to let go of me.
So after then, you guys reconnected.
We reconnected.
You got pregnant,
I got pregnant.
and
I went to New Zealand.
yeah,
And because my mum, bless her little cotton socks, she shouted me a trip to New Zealand for my birthday.
Fucking great place over there.
We did South Island.
Oh, that's fucking even better. Been around there too.
Um,
I grew up in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm a Kiwi. So you
explains so much.
So while you were in New Zealand, you miscarried.
Yeah, it was actually the last day
Yeah.
that we were in New Zealand. It was the morning that we were going to get on the plane. Like later that afternoon, I'd had like the implantation bleeding and all that sort of stuff. So I knew I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And obviously we'd had the whoopsie and stuff like that. So I was just like, I was really conscious of it, and I was
Yeah.
just keeping my eyes on it. And I was just like, okay, this is happening. I'm going to do tests when I get back, because there's no point doing it now because it won't show up anything.
So you hid this from your mum?
I hid this from my mum. Mum didn't know anything. I was constantly communicating with Dill at the time, because I was just like, I need to talk to someone about this shit.
Yeah.
He is the best person to talk to about that. And yeah, then we were,
Pretty physical and emotional flight home then.
I was holding back morning sickness while we were driving, which is very hard to do with a mother that's very in tune with you. I actually had a really big breakdown with her a couple months later. Like it was probably about 6 months later. I'm just like, do you know the reason why I was this way? I actually had a miscarriage in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Like, holy shit. Okay, that explains a shitload. I've been pissed off. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I wasn't really ready to emotionally deal with that yet.
So when did that grief actually hit you?
Probably about then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually, I would say it's actually when I caught up with him, when I got home, probably more so, because that was just like, I had this space that I could then just, because obviously I didn't live with anyone else except for my housemate, who was a little bit of a hermit. I didn't have to worry about anybody else. So I could just be myself. I could just sit outside. I could just go and do whatever the hell I wanted. It was just like, okay, this is my space. I don't have to stress about anybody. And it worked in that aspect, because I was then able to just grieve on my own.
do you think people understand miscarriage properly?
No.
No.
100% no.
Something you still think about?
I think about it every day.
Yeah.
Like, someone once told me that when you have a miscarriage, the best thing you can do is name it. Now, I had a feeling that it was a girl, and I called her Ali.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you wish someone had said to you at that time?
It's okay to grieve, 100%.
Yeah, it's still a loss. Yeah. It's something I've been through a few times in my relationship as well.
Yeah.
And it's definitely,
It's hard not only on the female, though, it's also hard on the male as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It must be a New Zealand thing. I took one of my girlfriends from Churchill over there, and she had an ectopic pregnancy while we were over there.
Oh,
I feel like that's even harder.
She didn't realise until we got back. I went back to work. She was still in Churchill, got taken down to the hospital there, and
I feel like
it changed her.
the other thing is, I feel like that's even harder, because like it's still a viable pregnancy.
It's going to do damage. Yeah.
Yeah, she lost an ovary.
Yeah.
And,
So that's hard.
she really, struggled, and that was it. Unfortunately, she was.
Did that change your relationship again? Yeah.
I feel like that actually reconnected us.
Yeah. So,
It actually brought us to the point where we actually had
bit of trauma bonding.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you fell pregnant with your daughter, did that change?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
switched.
Mm. So becoming a mum, then had postpartum depression, which
Oh,
is,
that was fun.
yeah, after you give birth, depression's quite common.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I was scared of my 1 week old
Yeah.
because she bit my nipple off.
Bit it off.
Bit it off, literally.
Oh,
like
shit.
through a nipple shield even.
You Jesus, yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was up at all hours and I was just like, I'm scared to feed you. But I persevered.
Yeah.
8 months.
Well done.
You bought your born with teeth.
Yeah.
She had no teeth.
Shark
Trust
gummy shark.
Gummy shark.
Yeah.
Unreal.
They're like, I don't know how she did it, but she did.
Yeah.
So-
That'd scare me too.
Motherhood for the first time, was it feel healing, frightening, overwhelming, all of it?
Isolating.
Isolating? Yeah.
Isolating would probably be.
Explain that.
You've got so many people around you,
Who
but they're not focusing on you.
No, that's
yeah,
right.
that's right. So
They're-
everyone's like,
everyone was
the
a baby.
the baby.
Baby,
Yeah,
baby,
yeah.
give me the baby. No one asks how you are.
Yeah. So you tested highly depressed after
Yeah.
she was born. How did that feel inside?
Oh, I still test highly depressed.
So,
I didn't really acknowledge it, to be honest.
Mm.
I was sort of just like, I don't need that.
yeah.
I don't need to be told that I'm depressed. I know that I am.
Yeah.
So, what was the hardest part of those early weeks?
The lack of sleep.
Yeah.
100% the lack of sleep still is an issue.
Yeah.
Did you feel the pressure that you had to be happy because you've had a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, then it was also just like an aspect of, I want that human contact. Where is that human contact?
Mm.
I was like craving it. It was almost like a drug that I was like, give me something. Give me an adult to talk to.
Yeah. So you said isolating, lonely. Is that what the best way to describe the depression at that point? Yeah.
And it wasn't like a case of like, Dill was amazing. He's an amazing dad and everything like that. And he was helping wherever he could. He unfortunately has the hard aspect of, he has a very physical job and he sleeps like a log.
Yeah.
He does not wake up to her at night.
Yeah.
She can be screaming at the top of her lungs in his ear
just
hole
done.
and he will just
Yeah.
be like snoring away.
Yeah.
Sleep apnea is a fun thing. But
Yeah.
when I do wake him up, he does get up and he
Yeah,
does
yeah.
help. But it's sort of like I feel guilty waking
Yeah.
him up
It's like
because
if he's
got work.
that deep asleep, he's
Yeah,
obviously.
and he would average maybe 5 hours of sleep a night. And it's just like,
My ex didn't give a fuck. It's your turn.
yeah,
The amount of times I fell asleep with a bottle on the couch and the sun was up and going, oh, fuck, I'm late for work again.
So you went back to going back into the horses. You were back riding within 13 days. Was that passion survival or just needing to feel like yourself?
I had an event that I had to train for.
Comp coming up.
No, it wasn't a comp. It was I had Cryle
Castle, yeah.
coming
So,
up, so I was just like, I need to train for this.
yeah. So was
I
that
have-
something to reclaim a bit of yourself or just not want to let people down? What was the drive?
I've always enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
So I've done Cryle for 8 years
Nice.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Minus COVID.
What time of year is that on? We can't.
February.
We close up. We missed it. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say we'll put a poster up for it, but we're not gonna.
I'll give you plenty more for the next one. It's usually about mid-Feb,
Yeah.
but it's very
That's the
much, it's a massive
Yearly
event.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw the one this year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-day thing. There's so much involved with it. So there's like costume making, there's
Okay.
the training of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because shooting an arrow off a horse isn't
Right.
easy.
Getting away from the event.
Yeah.
How is it? How is having a daughter changed the way you fight for yourself now?
I want to be that positive role model that she can then look back on and be like, that was my mum. She was a fucking killer.
Yeah.
Yep.
She did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say your mum's a role model in that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
In so many aspects. Yeah.
What do you think, what do you hope she learns from watching you?
I have a feeling she's going to get out both of our stubborn streaks.
Poor kid.
Yeah. Oh, the crocodile rolls at the moment.
Yeah.
I hope that she learns how to be comfortable in her own skin
Yeah.
and how to be resilient within herself and not to rely on everybody else.
So you do. They rely on you a lot.
Yeah. I feel like my mum, the way that she brought us up, because dad was always at work, she brought us up very independently in the aspect of we were able to. I know Dill touched on this the last podcast he was in. Even me making the wardrobe thing in our room
Yeah.
after asking him to do it several times, it was just like, you know what?
Fuck you, I'm going to do myself.
Fuck it, I can do it. Leave me your drill.
Yeah.
Leave me the tools to do the job, and I will do it. I just need that. I need the
Push.
tools. You have
Yeah.
the tools. I can't do it without the tools.
So when you look back at 2023, who was that version of Tina?
Shell.
Yeah.
Do you feel compassion for her now? Yeah.
So much. It's surprising, like, how much emotion is still there from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So what are you proud of the most for
Proud of.
surviving? Yeah.
100% that I got
Yeah.
through it.
What are you still learning to forgive yourself for?
That not everything is my fault and not everything is in my control. That's probably the two biggest things.
And what did it teach you about asking for help?
You find help in the strangest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did actually call helplines at the time. I didn't find them very helpful.
Not the first time I've heard that.
I think I called Beyond Blue twice, and I felt like I was just repeating myself for like
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
They were just trying to wrap me up, and it was just
Yeah.
like, you're not helpful.
It's a limited resource. For
Yeah.
sure, but they can get you over the bump if you're right on the edge.
I was.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Not helping.
No.
So what boundaries do you have now that you didn't have before?
I've got a big boundary on myself to not let myself get to that point again.
Yeah. So you know when you're slipping.
I know when I'm slipping. I know my triggers.
Yeah.
I know when I need to get more help.
Yeah.
And I know how strong I can be.
Yeah.
So what does healing look like for you now?
Strength.
Strength.
Strength, freedom.
The bike helps there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Getting out of the house. So even like doing
This.
this sort of.
Yep.
Driving across town and cry or something.
Cry with my two best mates.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone that's silently falling apart?
Reach out to someone that you wouldn't expect. I know that sounds weird, but I found the biggest help from someone that I didn't expect. And it was a figure of someone that I felt that he was a safe space to open up to. That wasn't included into something. He wasn't included in the...
Not an everyday person.
He was not my everyday person. He was someone that technically he was just an acquaintance at the time.
Yep.
I was working for him. He was a client. He wasn't someone who was actively in my social life. Like, he wasn't part of my major friend group. He wasn't part of my family. He didn't know any of them. Didn't give a shit.
That can help.
He actually... Yeah, there was no bias in the situation. He was a very neutral person in the aspect of he didn't care about their feeling. He cared about mine right there.
Yeah.
And that was probably the
That
biggest
was the
thing.
biggest thing. So would you say the presence, the listening, or just any advice?
A combination. So
Yeah.
I'd say, like, definitely talk to your GP. They can hook you up with, like, your mental health plan and get you talking to a professional to get you professional help if you need it. I'd probably say that if you've got someone that you feel you can talk to that is disconnected enough to still be connected, but also cares,
Yeah.
but isn't like, they might be the best person for you to talk to.
Reach out to Ambo.
Or reach out to a biker. I'm sure most of them are like, you know, big.
No, I'll listen to anybody.
Yeah,
I'll listen to you.
you are now.
So
These
you
ones
mentioned strength is your big thing. So what does that mean for you?
For me, strength is like making sure that I am okay. And even if that's a case of, like, you know, plowing through the third night in a row of no sleep.
Mm.
You know, it's keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
It's a case that I need to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So back in 2023, I actually got my first tattoo, and it's a very sentimental one to me.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah. So I actually had a lot of help with managing myself mentally with an app. And I think it was called Calm Harm. And it gave you strategies on how to manage how you were feeling. So it would give you like examples of things that you could do, such as like, if you feel like harming yourself, draw a butterfly or draw a ladybug, or, you know, draw a bug on your hand or something like that, or draw something where you want to harm yourself. And then your job is then to keep that alive. So it's taking that pressure off yourself, keeping yourself alive, and you're keeping that thing alive.
Yep.
So for me, I actually got it tattooed on my hand.
Got the little butterfly.
So
I like
little
butterflies.
And I've got so many photos. I think I drew a bumblebee once when I was at work.
Oh,
So,
look at that.
Yeah,
Your beetle.
beetle.
What do you got in your pocket?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Pick a colour.
Oh, butterflies. Put that on your vest.
Have to go with the green one.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It'll match the bike.
They're my flying fucks. I've never actually explained what a flying fuck is, but if you got one of those, actually give a flying fuck.
You just
But
go for it away.
yeah, so I've got that on my hand, and I've also got another one on my
Yep.
ribs for it's the old Winnie the Pooh saying, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and more loved than you'll ever know."
Yeah,
And I've got that surrounded with a whole heap of other things.
it's cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Big one. What do you want your daughter to know about the woman that her mum has become? If you could have a video message, because this is going to be out there in the ether forever,
Yes.
what message would you send to Raya about what you've been through and what you want her to know?
Don't be afraid to talk.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
That is the key.
It's 100%.
Communication
Communication
is the biggest
the
thing.
fucking biggest thing ever, yeah.
I don't care what it's about. Like,
Mm.
come and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you turn back the clock, that's probably would have fixed a lot of these things.
If I'd have started talking to Dill, probably wouldn't have had these issues.
Yeah.
But back where you're supposed to be, going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little girl that's walked.
Little perfect
Every-
little bub.
I swear she loves him more. She's always saying dad, 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 dad.
Ah, they-
And she's like-
It's easier to say.
It's
than
easy.
mum.
It is
Yeah.
easier to say.
There's actually
calls everybody
it's
that.
it's proven that it's like the sucking motion for when you have a
The bottom.
Pass-
bottle or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
It's, don't
She does
don't
scream out
take it
mum when
personally.
she's like,
Yeah,
really
I'm
upset.
hurt.
I used to teach my daughter to say bum, 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 bum. No, it's not mum, it's bum. Anyway, so if somebody was to ask you what does Twist the Throttle mean to you?
Twist the Throttle to me means like getting out of your own head
Yeah.
Mm.
and don't take life so seriously.
Yeah.
Obviously, keep the important shit going, but don't allow yourself to get caught up in things that you don't need to worry
Let
about.
yourself be a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, 100%.
It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, 100%. And everybody goes through their own
Let your
bad.
guard down a little bit if you're having trouble.
Yeah.
It's okay to speak to people.
Yeah.
And look, one of the things you said was Raggaz was a bit worried about having you on because he didn't want to be demonized, and we've all
It's not that
we've all fucked up. We've all looked for what we should have been looking for closer
late.
to home. You know what I mean? Like losing that communication and losing that feeling of you can talk to your partner is the worst feeling in the world from both sides. Yeah, so it's like he's probably going to beat himself up about having to hear all this shit again. Like you have to go through it all again as well.
Yeah.
But you've come through it. You guys are strong as fuck. Like I've never seen a more devoted couple to each other as far as where you are now. And that's, sometimes you need to almost lose something to realize what it's worth to you. So
I think that's
hope,
what sort of happened.
yeah, so I hope you guys many more children and many more years together. And
He doesn't
Yeah.
want it
once
anymore.
once Ray is a little duck on her bike as well, we'll
Yeah.
get out there and have some fun.
My advice would be get it over and done with as quickly as possible.
Don't have kids, fuck it.
Because they grow up and they become
Yeah.
good. See, mine's in there and
His excuse is that he wants to finish his apprenticeship first,
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is
which
fair.
is very fair.
Yeah.
I'm all
I,
kids are expensive.
I don't want to have kids when I grew up. My kids took it really bad, but I told them that.
Yeah.
It's fair though. It's justified
That's it.
because you have to then constantly look after someone else.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't just focus on yourself.
Well, I think the biggest thing that most people don't realize about having kids is like you kind of you live as much of your life as you can, and then life's not about you anymore.
No,
Yeah.
it's about
Yeah,
them.
it's like what can I give this person to make sure I don't fuck them up the way I felt like I was fucked up. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know, like and it's fucking hard. It's a hard job.
And it's hard keeping everything to a schedule as well, and then also functioning as an adult with living.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh my god, where has this gone?
Yeah.
So, how old are you now? I'm never supposed to ask a woman that, but I'm going to ask anyway.
I am,
Excellent. So good age.
yeah.
Don't have any more kids. That's good. That's enough. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one more.
One for mum, one for dad, one for the country. Isn't that what it is?
I don't want three, only two.
Yeah.
Two's enough.
Yeah, then you need a bigger car.
I don't
Then you
want
end up with a
upgrade.
twin turbo sitting in your driveway.
I've already got a twin turbo.
No, good on you.
I've got a decent-
All right. Thank you very much, Twisters, for joining us today for our
Thanks,
conversation.
Tina, for
coming-
making the trip over. Thanks for bearing your soul to us. We've got nearly an
Sorry for my
hour,
tears.
hour and a half. No, that's perfect. That's what we're about. Yeah.
Round 2 went a lot better, Jeff.
Yeah.
We had a bit of technical
We had technical difficulties.
Mate,
Yeah,
this
definitely
That's funny.
cut through that.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Tina.
the talk.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for riding with us today on Twist the Throttle. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Remember, no matter how tough the road gets, you're never riding alone. Stay safe, stay open, and catch you on the next ride. Keep that throttle twisted.